Where were you 15 years ago when the business owner lost a house, their pension, their children did not have a place to stay? Where were you? These things. So now I don't know the value of something. So when I get a tender, instead of buying the material according to the quotation, the first thing I do, I get myself a Yona motor, which is, by the way, not in the budget. Because I did not want to learn. I did not want to sit under someone else's business and labor there. Amen. This is how Afrikaners took South Africa. Afrikaners, when they took South Africa, they established universities. They took their children, put them through those universities. After they came out, they took their children, put them under stewardship of the British, who were running the colony at that time. When 1945 came, they were able to take over. They were able to take over because they first learned from others. How can I take care of this? What did we do when we took over, Mam K? We said, we are in charge now. Let's get all these old Afrikaner men out of those jobs. It's our time. Hardly 20 years down the line, we are ruled by the Guptas. Why? Because we don't know how to sit under someone else and learn and be faithful and be Chasiam. It's my time. Let me quickly do it. No, you are not faithful. That's why you will never be promoted, because when the boss looks at you, he says, no, not this one. Yes, you've got 10 years of being here, but you've got 10 years of being unfaithful. So your time in this business says nothing to the business owner. That's why they can promote somebody. So your time in this business says nothing to the business owner. That's why they can promote somebody who's been here for 3 years, because the person who's been here for 3 years is more productive than you. Being faithful with someone else's things. Amen. So uThixo makasincede kulo element. Uhulumende, one of the things they are wanting to do, they want private schools to be under Uhulumende, which is a disaster waiting to happen, by the way. It's a disaster waiting. Why? Private school, it's people who decided, I'm going to take responsibility for my child. I'm going to employ teachers with my own money. I'm going to buy properties with my own money. I'm not going to ask government, because this is what I am expecting from this education. Tina, we pay 100 rands school fees. We take no responsibility whatsoever for our education. And all of us, what's happening with our education system? What will happen? Because no one is taking responsibility for it. So, then we will be trusted with our own. And is our value. That's why uThixo engakwazi usiblessa. When we are not faithful to his things. God has his own vision God has his own dreams. God has his own desires. But Tina, we are busy with our own agendas zetu. We are busy taking care of our own selves. So God cannot bless us, God cannot increase us, God cannot trust us with our own treasures from heaven. Why? Because we are not faithful to his own treasures from heaven. Why? Because we are not faithful to his things. Amen. You've been here in this church, I don't know for how many years. God knows, you know. Are you faithful to the vision of this church? No. Are you consistent over time with what belongs to someone else? Before we can talk about what you want, can you please show us over time that I've been caring about something that belongs to someone else? Amen. Ilento discipleship isinyanzelayo isifaka kuyo, because ithi discipleship ngoku funa abantu ozobahoya, wena ube ngumfundisi wabo, wena ubawine, wena ubaconsolidate, wena ubakhathalele, wena ubathandazele, wena ubafundisa ilizwi. Awuthethwa ngawe, kuthethwa ngaba bantu ekufuneka ubahoye. But if you are not faithful with that, how can God bless you? Amen. Makasincede uThixo into yokuba sibe consistent. Now i-problem yale verse kulo consistency over time before uqala ufumane yakho. So in other words, minimum sisene 5 years sisenza into about what belongs to somebody else, because before God can begin to consider another 10 years before God can be sure about us. Another 15 years, another 20 years before God can be fully confident about us. Fully confident about us. But let us be consistent with what belongs to someone else. Amen. Over to you guys.
Kamala koye Yesu kukapa Kamala Yesu tena huyo itwa tena huyo itwala tena huyo itwa hagaso se akubega utena utena huyo itwala Yesu tena huyo itwala huyo itwala utena Sheno yongitwa Sutana Utana uyongitwa Uyongitwa Shena utana Uyongitwa Shehova utana Uyongitwa Utena